Okay, another thing I want to show you guys about Windows Mobile and this phone in general is Windows Mobile is very much a platform like Windows is on your laptop. You're meant to add programs on top of it to change the experience for yourself. So I've added 2 programs here, and I'll show you what I mean. The first one is Advanced Config. Now, this program allows you to change down to, the most complicated thing that you could possibly change. So it's great because Windows Mobile lets you do that. Other OSs probably wouldn't. So you can change things, and I'll use the stylus to click on these screens because they're not really optimized for a finger. But you can go to the screen, you can change when it dims, you can change the sensitivity of the screen, change the input methods, which keyboard you want to be default, change where the GPS is being received, Bluetooth, the hardware of the phone, a lot of different stuff. So that's kind of cool. Now, another program I want to show you real quick is Skyfire. Skyfire is an internet browser for Windows Mobile. It's one of the few that actually plays Flash for the most part. What it does is it loads internet on a desktop computer and then sends it to your phone. So you get a very close to desktop experience as you probably could. So we'll go to a Flash-oriented site like YouTube. And I'll show you what I mean. Okay, so you see it loads pretty quickly, and you'll see it looks just like it does on your computer. Again, we got double tap to zoom in, double tap to zoom out. So let's see if we can play one of these videos real quick for you. Oops. That one.
Stop making Twilight episodes. I hate Twilight. Shut up!
So you see it's playing just like it should play on your computer.
From the theatrical release of Twilight New Moon because they were just plain stupid.
See?
You'll see what I mean.
So you see it plays pretty well. So that's kind of cool. So again, just great that you can add different applications. They can do a lot. And there's tons of applications for Windows Mobile because it's just been around for such a long time. Okay, so another thing I really want to show you really quickly is multitasking on a Windows phone or on this phone in specific. And this is where those 3 buttons down here, the Home, Start Menu, and Back will come in handy. So, for instance, let's say you wanted to use a few different programs at once. Now, I've loaded a bunch of them already. So we'll start with one. Let's go to the contacts. Okay, and then if you hit X here, it actually closes the program the way I have it set up. So instead of doing that, if I want to keep this open, because say, I'm looking at Greg's information here and I need to know, whatever his email is or his instant messages while I go, or better yet, his address, while I go look him up in Google Maps. So instead of closing it out, I can hit the Home button to bring me back to my main screen and keep it running in the background. Now I can go to my Google Maps, do what I need to do in here, and instead of Xing out again, hit the home screen again, and this way Google Maps is still running. You can also use this menu here to close things individually, etc., but go to Wikipedia, and then instead of closing it out, you can hit home, go to Facebook, hit home, go to SMS, say something, and then let's say I want to open a new program. I can immediately go and push the Windows button to open up my Start menu, and then I can go to whatever I need to go to. Right? Now, if I want to go back to the last program I was in, because now I'm getting confused because I've been opening so many, I can hit back. It'll take me right back to the last program I was using. So as far as multitasking goes, it's pretty great. Alright, so home again, back to the home screen. And you'll notice also I have a bunch of programs running and it's not really slowing down at all, which is nice. So there's some multitasking knowledge. Okay, so in closing here, this is a great little mid-range phone. Has the same internal specs as a much more expensive phone like the Touch Pro 2, with a smaller screen and no keyboard. It's kind of the only thing you're really sacrificing there. But some people like the smaller screen because it makes the phone a whole lot smaller. Not to mention the smaller screen with the same hardware specifications as Pro 2 means faster performance because there's less pixels and there's less stuff that the processor has to do to load screens, which is great. So I personally think this is a great phone for someone who's just getting into Windows Mobile or doesn't necessarily need a keyboard as well, and they want to do their business, some play. It's good for that. Another thing I like about it is the screen itself is actually really sensitive for a resistive screen. I actually got a little confused because normally with a resistive screen you can't use the tip of your finger, you have to use your nail or the very tip of your finger because it needs pressure and it needs a pinpointed location. As opposed to a capacitive screen, which is the exact opposite. You can use your finger, but you can't use your nail because it doesn't connect to electricity and it won't pick it up. We'll do that that's another post though. But with this phone, I can use my finger, which is a little interesting. You do have to push a little bit harder than if you were using your nail, but it does work, which means it's more sensitive than most, because some other phones I've used with Windows Mobile and resistive screen, put your finger on it, doesn't do anything. So that's kind of nice as well. For about $200 less than a Pro 2, not a bad deal. So that's it for the Touch 2. Let us know what you think. If you have any questions about the phone while we still have it in our hand, post them in the comments. We'll get right back to you. Thanks, guys.